have to reach the Empress before Corypheus. The only question is, how?
We know how. I have our way in. The real question is, where is our enemy hiding? At the urging of Grand Duchess Florian, the Empress is holding a ball. Absolutely everyone will be there. During the festivities, Celine will be meeting for peace talks with the usurper Duke Gaspard and Ambassador Briala.
The assassin must be hiding within one of these factions.
Do we need to go to the peace talks? The Empress must have personal guards. We could just warn her she's in danger.
We've made the attempt, but...
It seems that our messages never reached her. Someone intercepted them.
It's better that we don't leave this to chance. If Orlais falls to Corypheus, no land is safe.
What do we know about Duke Gaspard?
The man who would have been Emperor. He's Celine's cousin, and was first in line to inherit the throne when Emperor Florian died. Celine outmaneuvered him. She won over the Council of Heralds, who hold authority over title disputes. She became Empress, and he a general in the Imperial Army. He's well loved by the troops. He's also a Chevalier. Most of their number sided with him when he turned on the Empress.
Aren't the Chevaliers part of the army? Why would they follow the Duke?
Most Chevaliers are sworn to serve the crown, but that does not give them faith in the person wearing it. The Empress has tried to improve relations with Ferelden and Navarra. The Chevaliers see her as anti-military. They believe Gaspard could lead the Empire back to the glory of Draken's expansion years.
Who is this Ambassador Briala?
An ambassador in name only. She has organized the elves of Halam Sharal into an underground army. The Empress invited her to the peace talks in a bid to gain the elves' alliance in the war. That would be scandal enough, without the rumor that Briala is a jilted lover of Celine's. A personal grudge and a network of saboteurs at her command. Promising lead.
Wait, the elven leader is a jilted lover of the Empress.
It's not widely known. Just a rumor whispered among the palace servants a few years ago. If it's true and were to get out, the Empress and an elf. The scandal could destroy Celine's court. Even if a lie, Briala could use it to blackmail the Empress. She has some connection to the throne.
Tell me everything we know about the Empress.
Empress Celine is a renowned diplomat and reformer. She works tirelessly to secure peace for the Empire. Unfortunately, many Orlesians view peace as complacency. She has yet to name an heir, leaving the future of the Empire in doubt if anything happens to her. Especially when the next in line is her cousin Gaspard, who's made few friends on the Council of Heralds.
Celine is surrounded at all times by countless guards, courtiers, servants, and vassals. What better place for an assassin to hide than the Empress's own household?
How can Gaspard still be next in line while he wages war against his Empress?
The title Grand Duke indicates that he was a prince before the Empress took the throne.
You've given me plenty to think about.
With Gaspard and Celine's armies entrenched, we cannot openly march troops to the palace.
My agents will ensure your soldiers get inside. But it must be a few at a time to avoid attention.
Understood. Just give the word, we'll begin.
The political situation in Halam Shiral hangs by a thread. The Empress fears our presence could sever it. The Grand Duke is only too happy to have us at the ball as his guests, so our invitation comes from him. Whether we act as his allies or upset the balance of power, he gains an opportunity, if not a clear advantage.
Inquisitor Trevelyan, we meet at last. I've heard so much about you. Bringing the rebel mages into the ranks of your army was a brilliant move. Imagine what the Inquisition could accomplish with the full support of the rightful Emperor of Orlais.
Which one was the rightful one again? I keep getting them confused.
If we keep watch, he may appear, probably by the brandy. I am not a man who forgets his friends, Inquisitor. You help me, I'll help you. Prepared to shock the Assembly by appearing as the guest of a hateful usurper, my lord? They will be telling stories of this into the next age.
I can't imagine that crowd has seen anything better than us in their entire lives.
I knew we would get along famously, Inquisitor. As a friend, perhaps there is a matter you could undertake this evening. This elven woman, Briala. I suspect that she intends to disrupt the negotiations. My people have found these ambassadors all over the fortifications. Sabotage seems the least of their crimes.
Tell me there's more to your suspicion than the elves were acting dodgy.
That ambassador, Briala, used to be a servant of Celine's. That is, until my cousin had her arrested for crimes against the Empire to cover up a political mistake. If anyone in this room wishes Celine harm, Inquisitor, it's that elf. She certainly has reason. Be as discreet as possible. I detest the game, but if we do not play it well, our enemies will make us look like villains. We're keeping the court waiting, Inquisitor. Shall we?
Is that the Inquisitor?
What? A marcher? Don't be absurd.
One of the Trevellians, I've heard.
Pardon me, my lord. You haven't seen a ring lying around, have you? It was a gift from the Countess Montbelliard, enchanted by the Fomari. I cannot go into the ball without it.
Is this ring particularly valuable?
Its worth in coin is not as important as its social value. It was a gift from a member of the Council of Heralds. If she finds out I lost it, she will never forgive me. Not even if I live to be 1,000 years old.
What's your game? Are you trying to convince the Comtesse that you treasure her gift? Or just gain importance by getting the Inquisitor to run a menial errand for you?
I assure you, the ring truly is lost. And I must find it or risk terrible repercussions. Should you happen upon it, I beg you, let me know. Maker, what am I going to do if I cannot find my ring?
Is this the ring you were looking for?
You are a treasure! I cannot believe you found it. You have saved me a lifetime of mortification. How can I thank you enough?
We can only hope Celine prevails tonight. Gaspard will ruin us all.
Is that the Inquisitor?
A martyr? The Maker has an odd sense of humor.
I wish there was more news coming from the front.
Lady Nightingale, are all the Delancey's here?
Maker, I hope not.
Where has that servant gone? Elves, always shirking their duties.
It's been too long since I've had any word from Valois.
This is a private conversation. Please leave. Any word from the front lines?
My spies said the bodies were beyond counting.
Surely the Empress will put an end to the war tonight.
Pray, my friend. If the Maker does not hear us now, just pray.
It's been too long since I've had any word from Valois.
Inquisitor, a moment, if you please. I'm sure you know how to handle most nobility, but the game is nothing like the Free March's intrigues. It is no simple matter of etiquette and protocol. Every word, every gesture is measured and evaluated for weakness.
Don't they sound delightful? I'm shocked we haven't invited the court to dinner at Skyhold.
The game is like Wicked Grace played to the death. You must never reveal your cards. When you meet the Empress, the eyes of the entire court will be upon you. You are safer staring down Corypheus.
Is all this worry just for my sake?
You're going in there unarmed. If anything happens to you... Unrest, watch over us all.
Gaspard never struck me as pious. He must think he gains a military advantage with the Inquisition.
Shit. I just saw 2 dwarves from the Merchants Guild go inside. If anyone asks, I'm not here. So this is just the Winter Palace. What's the summer one look like, I wonder? Seriously, did you get a look at the steps? I think they're gilded. Shit. I just saw 2 dwarves from the Merchants Guild go inside. If anyone asks, I'm not here. So this is just the Winter Palace. What's the summer one look like, I wonder?
The sooner we go in, the sooner we can get this over with. The sooner we go in, the sooner we can get this over with.
I need to have this jacket let out a little. I need to have this jacket let out a little.
I heard the Grand Duke invited the Inquisition here.
How could the Empress afford to renovate the palace with a war going on?
I heard that it wasn't renovations at all. The palace was damaged by Gaspard's catapults.
He fired on the Winter Palace? That's monstrous.
I had hoped to tour the Royal Wing Gardens again.
I have heard they are the finest in the Empire. It's such a pity the wing is sealed. I heard Celine was having the entire wing redecorated, but the timing is atrocious.
Why would she do such a thing now?
Good to know.
Who does Orzammar favor in the negotiations tonight?
His Majesty King Haramond has made considerable coin supplying the Grand Duke's army with dwarven steel.
Can Gaspard take the throne without the backing of the Council of Heralds?
He plans to take it by force. If the Council won't recognize him, he'll march against them.
I can hardly believe Gaspard and Celine are in the same room.
Grand Duchess Florian must have worked a miracle to get them here.
Interesting. Well, that's useful.
Why are there so many barriers here?
How can they call this a vestibule? It's a foyer.
If nothing else, the Inquisition backing Gaspard would make Celine nervous.
No one else.
You know how pious she is.
The guest wing is not open to the public at this time, Inquisitor.
And now presenting Grand Duke Gaspard de Chalon, and accompanying him, Lord Inquisitor Trevelyan, son of Ban Trevelyan of Ostwick. vanquisher of the rebel mages of Ferelden, crusher of the vile apostates of the Mage Underground.
Remember to smile. This is all for show, my dear.
Champion of the blessed Andraste herself.
Did you see their faces? Priceless.
Accompanying the Inquisitor, Seeker, Cassandra, Allegra, Portia, Calogera, Philomena.
Get on with it.
Pantagast, 14th cousin to the King of Navarra, 9 times removed, hero of Orlais, right hand of the Divine. Madame Vivienne, first enchanter of the Circle of Magi, enchanter of the Imperial Court, mistress of the Duke of Ghislaine, renowned author Tharic Tethras, head of noble house Tethras, Desher of Kirkwall to the Dwarven Merchants Guild, Lord Dorian Pavus, member of the Circle of Arantium, son of Lord Magister Hallwood Pavus of Azariel, Warden Blackwall of Valchevin, Constable of the Grey, bearer of the Silverite Wings of Valor, the Iron Bull, leader of the famed mercenary company Bull's Chargers, as the name might imply. The Lord Inquisitor's elven servant, Solus. Her ladyship, my bulls each, of course. Sir Callan Stanton Rutherford of Honley, commander of the forces of the Inquisition, former Knight Commander of Kirkwall. Lady Liliana, Nightingale of the Imperial Court, veteran of the Fifth Blight, mistress to the Prince Consort of Ferelden, Seneschal of the Inquisition, and left hand of the Divine. And Lady Josephine Charette Montillier of Antiva City, Ambassador of the Inquisition.
Cousin, my dear sister.
Grand Duke, we are always honored when your presence graces our court.
Don't waste my time with pleasantries, Celine. We have business to conclude.
We will meet for the negotiations after we have seen to our other guests.
Inquisitor?
Lord Inquisitor, we welcome you to the Winter Palace. Allow us to present our cousin, the Grand Duchess of Leeds, without whom this gathering would never have been possible.
What an unexpected pleasure. I was not aware the Inquisition would be part of our festivities. We will certainly speak later, Inquisitor.
Your arrival at court is like a cool wind on a summer's day.
Let's hope the breeze does not herald an oncoming storm.
Even the wisest mistake fair winds for foul. We are at the mercy of the skies, Inquisitor. How do you find Halam Shiral?
I have no words to suffice. Halam Shiral has many beauties, and I couldn't do them justice.
Your modesty does you credit, and speaks well for the Inquisition. Feel free to enjoy the pleasures of the ballroom, Inquisitor. We look forward to watching you dance.
Inquisitor, a word when you have a moment.
Tell me, Yvette, how are Mama and Papa? Are they... do they want for anything?
Papa's perfectly happy in the studio. Mother is the same as always.
Meaning she's after you to do more work.
You always take her side.
I don't take her side. I happen to think, as she does, you might attend to more of the estate's duties. Also, do stop slouching.
Travers and his wife, Lady Elodie, patroness of the artist Chantal Valroyot, and Sir Bastien Vauquelin, Chevalier of the Empire and paramour of the Comte.
Josephine! Oh, Josephine! Is this him?
Inquisitor, please allow me to present to you my younger sister, Yvette Gabriella Montillier.
There can never be too many Lady Montiliers in Thedas, can there?
Inquisitor, I've heard so much about you, but not as much as I want. Josephine writes, but she never tells me anything. Is it true? You and Josephine are going to elope and move to the Anderfels and join the Grey Wardens and fight darkspawn? Yvette, I want to know.
I already packed our bags, didn't I, darling?
I knew it!
Inquisitor, please give her no more ammunition. I beg you.
This may be my only chance to hear about when Josephine was a girl.
Oh yes, as she told you about when she was 10 and...
Yvette.
Stop. Fine. What about when we were climbing the cliffs by the...
No.
She once told the Duke of...
Absolutely not.
Huh. She still plays with her doll collection when no one's looking.
Yvette! That's absurd. Absolutely preposterous.
Which power should the Inquisition throw its weight behind?
Celine has held the throne successfully for years. I see no profit in ousting her. Gaspard has run military campaigns, but never a kingdom. His transition would be, let us say, chaotic.
Which power should the Inquisition throw its weight behind?
Celine has held the... Gaspard has run military campaigns, but never a kingdom. His transition would be, let us say, chaotic.
Tell me about yourself, Lady Yvette. This is the first time I've encountered any of Josephine's family.
She would forget to mention the artists. I've been studying painting under Antiva's royal tutors. You should be proud, Josie. I'm going to be exhibiting my work next season in the city's biggest salon.
Have you actually sat down and finished the painting yet?
I must wait for my inspiration.
And I must wait for your tutor's bills.
Enjoying the ball?
I see many of. The dancing is so dull, Your Worship, but the Empress's gallery is magnificent.
Yvette.
Sorry, Josie.
Go on, Josephine.
Half Royal must be empty. So many of the Empire's finest are in attendance. They've noticed the Empress paying you special attention, but they don't quite know how to take advantage of it yet. This uncertainty won't last long, I'm afraid.
I'll see you later.
Another time.
Can you believe the Inquisition filled its ranks with apostates?
You just know that will end badly. Servant gone.
Are you married?
Always shirking their duties.
I'm married to my work.
Still single, then?
Inquisitor, did you need something? The sooner we track down this infiltrator, the better.
You have any advice?
Orlesian's social events don't fall within my area of expertise. There are a few here we can trust. Be careful.
You've attracted a following. Who are all these people?
I don't know. They won't leave me alone.
I take it you're not enjoying yourself.
At this point, the headache I'm developing is preferable to the company.
Who do you think the Inquisition should support?
Gaspard's claim to the throne is fair. Orlais needs someone capable of responding to the crisis at hand. A military-minded leader seems the best option.
Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary?
Nothing that stands out. I doubt there's a single person here without ulterior motives.
We'll talk later.
I await your signal.
Laurent was the love of my life. You remember my husband? Poor darling. killed in a war with Ferrell, then. Perhaps we can speak later, Inquisitor. Another time, perhaps?
And here we are. You haven't embarrassed yourself as much as I feared. Well done, my dear.
I've always wondered, what's the Orlesian fascination with masks?
We all wear masks, my dear, not just the people in Orlais. Who you are as a son, a lover, a friend, is not the same man who speaks for Andraste and leads the Inquisition. Orlesians codify this truth, make it visible. By giving each of these selves its own separate face, they believe they can be their truest selves, unmasked.
Anything happening I should know?
Strange that I haven't seen much of Grand Duchess Florian. One could always find her clinging desperately to the Empress's skirts before.
It seems like you enjoy this, Vivienne.
This is the game, Inquisitor. Of course I enjoy it. If I didn't, I'd be dead by now.
Any words of wisdom for navigating the ballroom?
Speak to the Council of Heralds. 6 of them are here tonight. The 7th member of the Council is indisposed. His absence will complicate the negotiations. The Council are the highest-ranking players of the game. They see everything. They might know something we can use.
Tell me, Vivienne, where do you want the crown to fall?
What I want is irrelevant, darling. Orlais requires stability, and that is best served by Empress Celine.
Be ready to act when I give the signal.
Always, my dear.
I heard the Inquisition was here.
You're too gullible.
Crotchrup beats his squire. He's a she.
As a bastard. Extra toes. What a fun, close marrying crowd.
Making any new friends?
Not likely. I'm watching them watch you. They're all glances and titters. Not sure if they're allowed to like you yet. Pathetic.
Any thoughts on who we're investigating?
The Empress is pretty. It'd be fun to drink and kill stuff with Gaspard. Briala is friggin' funny. Elves, elves, elves. But it's really a pissing match with an old lover. Don't know the rest, but that explains a lot. They're all lying, but Celine's nice to look at. Good thing we're here to save her neck.
Any hidden treasures from friends of your little network?
You mean, do any of the servants ferrying tarts between these windy tits hate them enough to give up a stash or two? I'm not saying yes, but wait, yes I am. There's some good stuff hidden around. Keep an eye out.
Back soon.
Not going anywhere.
Is that him?
Is it true the Inquisitor was handed out of the Fade by Andraste?
Are you happy to see me at all, Josie?
It may not have been wise to attend this particular engagement, Yvette.
I didn't want to come. Mother made me. At least Haram Sharal has such pretty gardens. They're so darling. I took out my parchment.
Not another book of poetry.
Have you heard from your nephew?
Not since his regiment joined the fighting.
Good. I was hoping I would catch you. What did the Duke say?
He points the finger at Ambassador Briala.
The ambassador is up to something, but she can't be our focus. The best place to strike at Celine is from her side. Empress Celine is fascinated by mysticism, foreseeing the future, speaking with the dead. That sort of rubbish. She has an occult advisor, an apostate who charmed the Empress and key members of the court as if by magic. I've had dealings with her in the past. She is ruthless and capable of anything.
How can Celine openly keep an apostate in the Imperial Court?
The Imperial Court has always had an official position for a mage. Before now, it was little better than court jester. Vivian was the first to turn that appointment into a source of real political power. When the circles rebelled, technically every mage became an apostate. The word lost much of its strength.
You think she's controlling the minds of the court? That's powerful blood magic.
She's worth investigating. Can't be sure of anything here. Both leads point toward the guest wing. It's a promising place to start. I'll coordinate with our spies to see if I can find anything better. I will be in the ballroom if you need me.
This ball is a waste of time, like all Orlesian foolishness. Let's find the Venatori collaborator and get out of here.
I don't suppose you'd like to dance, Lady Cassandra.
Now? This is hardly the time. We're here to find a killer, not dance.
Have you witnessed anything noteworthy?
Nothing yet. I will let you know.
You don't seem to care much for the ball.
Orlesians pretend their petty squabbles are a game. Yes, let us treat murder, corruption, and deceit as delightful amusements. How wonderful. We are here to save Empress Celine, and it galls me. Why does she merit our protection? The Empire would be better off without her. Gaspard is the leader Orlais needs in this crisis.
You support the civil war?
Of course not. Chaos is what Corypheus wants, and we must oppose him. Were it up to me, however, I would let Celine fall and Gaspard take the throne. He would see the true threat, not spend his time throwing balls and writing letters.
Stay alert. We don't know where the enemy is hiding.
I'll be watching for trouble. The sooner we leave this place, the better.
How long can Orzammar hold out with trade disrupted?
Not long. The last dispatch said they were rioting in the Diamond Quarter over food shortages.
Leave us.
The package is in the guest wing. Upper room.
The one of the garden. Statuette.
We are not serving drinks. Bother someone else.
No.
I'm ready for anything. Just give the word.
While I have a moment, is there anyone here I should question?
I'm not well acquainted with Orlesian nobility. They rarely welcome Grey Wardens coming in with the right of conscription.
What do you think about all the scheming and politics?
I think I'd rather be anywhere else. Let's save the Empress and get back to where things make sense. Say what you want about Celine's ascension. She stole the throne? She seduced her way to it? Who cares? In the years since, she's proven she is the perfect mix of strength, cunning, and grace that Orlais needs. Gaspard, you may as well crown a bull if he wins.
So, Silver Right Wings of Valor. What did you get that for?
For valor.
Care to elaborate?
It was a long time ago. Back when we didn't stop to boast about past victories when there was an assassin on the loose.
What's the word? Seen anything yet?
There aren't enough guards. That seems odd. Either the Empress disguised them for appearances, or something has gone wrong.
Wait for my signal. I should look around.
I do adore the heady blend of power, intrigue, danger, and sex that permeates these events.
You seem more comfortable with a Grand Orlesian bull than I'd have expected.
I have seen countless such displays in my journeys in the Fae. The powerful have always been the same. Only the costumes change.
Have you seen anything useful?
No, sadly. I do not have the look of one of the elven servants, or I might well be invisible. I wonder how masked men live their lives without ever seeing that servants have an entire society of their own. If you want to find something useful, I would pay attention to what the servants do.
Have you encountered any trouble with the nobles?
The Orlesians do not quite know what to make of me. I have kept to myself, for fear of giving them some purchase to cling to. The food and drink are excellent, however, and the servants have been happy to refill my glass.
I'll be back.
And well.
Interesting. I had no idea.
Gaspard is waiting.
Boring.
Well, well, the Inquisitor. Here as a guest of my nephew, no less. I'm curious.
I didn't know the Grand Duke was your nephew.
He's my brother's eldest boy. Always a difficult child, Gaspard. Never listened, never did what he was told. He was raised a prince. All his life we told him he would be emperor. It was his destiny, his duty. What else should he do with his life if not fight for his destiny?
Have you noticed anything strange this evening?
My niece Florian hasn't spoken to me all evening. That's not like her.
What can you tell me about the Civil War?
If you are hoping for insight, you've come to the wrong man. It's war. It is brutal, and terrible, and sometimes necessary. There's nothing more to say.
Another time, my lord. Good to know.
Get these pastries out to the diplomats.
The Duchess has asked for too many. I can't carry them all.
You got anything that needs killing? Because the nobles keep messing with me and they think I don't know they're doing it. This keeps up, I'm gonna wear somebody's skull as my fancy little mask.
Look at this with the eyes of a Ben Hasrath and tell me what you see.
It's a mess. Everyone's trying so hard to hide that they're walking around in plumage. Makes it tough to spot the dangerous lies, as opposed to the normal stuff. Oh, but that couple over there with the silver masks? The woman's doing one of the nobles, and the guy's doing 2 different servants.
What do you think of the masks the nobles are wearing?
They're no good as disguises, and they don't cover the mouth or hide body language, so they're not much help for lying. As fashion goes, I don't know. I've seen dumber.
Anything catching your eye?
They've got these candied nuts with some kind of spice on them. It's sweet until you swallow, and then, bam! Hot. Also, Orlais has some fine-looking redheads. I go more for the servants personally. Less makeup. Nothing on the assassins, though.
Talk to you later, Bull.
I'll just stay here and eat.
You don't want to be here, stranger.
He hasn't made the pickup. It's been hours.
You went into the servants' wing. Nobody's come out of there all night.
I'll tell Briala we have a situation.
Interesting.
Does anyone really think the war will end tonight?
The Empress does.
Did you hear what Gaspard said to Duke Germain? His own uncle.
Germain bore his nephew's spite better than the rest of the council. Did you see that panicked attaché roaming about?
This way is closed. Please, use the main entrance to the ballroom.
Philippe should have returned hours ago, dallying with some serving girl while I deal with Gaspard's vitriol.
I can't imagine Gaspard being vitriolic. What's the matter?
The Grand Duke bears a grudge against the Council for refusing him the crown. He's threatened death if they refuse him again, collectively and individually, along with their vassals. What backwater did you come from? Everyone knows that.
Well, well. What's this? Did I see you talking to Duke Cyril de Montfort?
Was merely being polite.
I don't like that Grand Duke. Nobody should always be hunting those heathens.
If I have to clean up another part.
My Lord Inquisitor! May we have a word? It is very important.
The Empress has sent us with a message for you.
How can I be certain this message is from the Empress?
We 3 wear the masks of House Valmont.
They signify that we are public faces of the Empress.
They are also extremely fashionable.
Funny that she couldn't give me this message when we spoke.
Oh, she could not speak freely in front of the entire court, Inquisitor.
Empress Céline is eager to assist the Herald of Andraste in his holy endeavor.
She will pledge her full support to the Inquisition as soon as the usurper Gaspard is defeated.
Let me guess. All she wants in return is for me to help her defeat the Duke.
Oh, this is not meant as a bargain by any means, Inquisitor.
The support of the Empress is not conditional. It will be yours once the negotiations are concluded.
The Empress is the most skilled diplomat in Thedas. Gaspard is hopelessly out of his depth.
But we have taken enough of your time.
Please, enjoy the masquerade, Inquisitor.
This is a private conversation.
You must be mistaken.
No, I'm quite certain it was blood on the tiles.
If they're playing the game, they're not doing it very well. You don't leave evidence if you play to win.
With Gaspard and that elf woman here, the only one playing to win is Celine.
You only say that because you fancy the Empress's pet apostate. It sickens me to think of the chaos those Maleficarum are causing across the Empire.
Even you cannot deny that the Templars abandoned the faithful in their darkest hour. How can you condone that? They are the ones who should be brought to heel, if you ask me.
Where has that servant gone? Elves, always shirking their duties.
Did you need something?
Did I hear correctly? If you're interested in bringing the Templars to heel, you may have found an ally.
If that's true, I would welcome an alliance with the Inquisition. I will get in touch with your Lady Nightingale. I have assets that might benefit your cause.
Gentlemen.
We will be in touch, Inquisitor.
This is all so familiar. I half expect my mother to materialize from the crowd and criticize my manners.
Is this how the elite of Tevinter carry on?
You could almost mistake this for a soiree in the Imperium. The same double-dealing, elegant poison canapes. It's lacking only a few sacrificial slaves and some blood magic. But the night is still young.
Have you seen anything I should know about?
Other than an overabundance of lavender perfume? No, nothing extraordinary.
What if your mother were actually here? Where would we be then?
Short one mage after he's dragged out by his earlobe.
I'm having difficulty picturing that.
Picture me a young boy of 5 years, then. She certainly always has.
I appreciate that you were willing to come here.
And expose myself to all this exquisite finery and exotic wines? Such hardship.
Not everyone's likely to be friendly. That's all I meant.
It's true. You'd think I smelled of cabbages the way they wrinkle their noses. It's of no concern, but thank you.
We can only hope Celine prevails tonight. Gaspard
We can
will
only
ruin
hope
us
Celine
all.
prevails
tonight. Gaspard will ruin us all.
Interesting. Good to know.
faces talk even when they aren't moving. Silk on satin on skin, always wanting, chaste but chaste, too many.
Are you all right, Cole? You seem distracted. More than usual.
They have faces inside their faces, lying with a layer that tells the truth. I don't know how to help them.
Have you observed anything happening yet?
Leliana has many faces. When she puts on a new one, she changes all the way down.
What are you doing, Cole?
A fallen fan can cut like a kiss. Hot breath from the wrong boy on the naked nape of the neck. I helped until they made me stop. Now they've all forgotten.
Stay out of trouble, Cole.
Socks get wet when the tide rises.
Gaspard is wasting his time. Nothing he does could win over the Council of Heralds now.
He should have considered that before threatening to burn them all in their homes.
I should get back to the ballroom.
Well, well. What have we here? The leader of the new Inquisition, fabled herald of the faith. Delivered from the grasp of the Fade by the hand of blessed Andraste herself. What could bring such an exalted creature here to the Imperial Court, I wonder? Do even you know?
We may never know. Courtly intrigues and all that.
Such intrigues obscure much, but not all. I am Morrigan. Some call me advisor to Empress Celine on matters of the arcane. You have been very busy this evening, hunting in every dark corner of the palace. Perhaps you and I hunt the same prey.
I don't know. Do we?
You are being coy.
I'm being careful.
Not unwise, here of all places. Allow me to speak first, then. Recently I found and killed an unwelcome guest within these very halls. An agent of Tevinter. So I offer you this, Inquisitor. A key found on the Tevinter's body. Where it leads, I cannot say. Yet, if Celine is in danger, I cannot leave her side long enough to search. you can.
You left Celine alone. Is that wise?
I must return to her anon, but she is safe enough, for the moment. 'Twould be a great fool who strikes at her in public in front of all her court and the Imperial Guard.
What's your interest in protecting Empress Celine? Are you her bodyguard?
Do I seem a bodyguard to you? If anything were to happen to Celine, eyes would turn first to her occult advisor, even if they knew otherwise. There are sharks in the water, and I will not fall prey to them. Not now, not ever.
Why did you kill the agent? He might have had useful information.
I would not have slain the man on sight had he not attacked me first. Why? Undoubtedly, I caught him in an illicit act. I did not know from whence he came until after the battle, and regret only that I could not capture him alive. What intentions the Imperium has here, I suspect you know far better than I.
If you truly want answers, help me find them.
I already told you. I must return to protect the Empress. Proceed with caution, Inquisitor. Enemies abound, and not all of them aligned with Tevinter. What comes next will be most exciting.
The Empress invite that elf woman?
The game, of course. Celine has something up her sleeve.
Gaspar is wasting his time. Nothing he does could win over the Council of the Gods now.
He should have considered that before threatening to burn them all in their homes.
I don't think the court knows what to make of this Inquisitor.
Leave us.
Was that Inquisition officer over there? You'll never get to talk to him. You wouldn't even dance with the Comtesse d'Argent?
Is this it? Just looking at each other and what? I'm waiting for the party to start.
Back soon.
Not going anywhere.
It's been too long since I've had any word from BioWare.
I've an idea, Josephine.
Doesn't look like the negotiations are going well.
You'd be bored the second.
My friend, come in, have a drink. What can I do for you? If you're as delighted by the court as I am, there's a decanter of port around here.
I'd like to know more about you.
All of Orlais knows my story. But you, my friend, are far too sensible to be Orlesian. The heart of it is simple. I am the rightful heir to the throne of Orlais. But my cousin, Celine, is a politician, while I am a man of action. She charmed the Council of Heralds. They gave the crown to her, and while it looks fetching on her, I intend to take it back.
What's your claim to the throne?
The 100 Days Cough swept BioWare in 877. It killed thousands of children, royalty and commoner alike. There are only 3 living grandchildren of Emperor Judicael I. Myself, my sister Floriane, and Celine. And I am the eldest. By rights, the crown should have passed to me.
If you're the rightful heir, how did Celine become empress?
I am the oldest, but I lack the Valmont name. My mother was the late Emperor's sister. Celine is a Valmont. Her honored father was my mother's brother. But she is the youngest. When there is any doubt surrounding the line of succession, the matter falls to the Council of Heralds. Celine outplayed me, forming alliances on the Council for support. So they passed over me in her favor.
What are you claiming? Her crown or her head?
If Celine loses her head, it will not be my doing. I want my empire. I do not wish harm on my cousin, but I would not weep at her demise.
I'd like to know more about...
All of Orlais knows my story. But you, my friend, are far too sensible to be Orlesian. The heart of it is simple. I am the rightful heir to the throne of Orlais. But my cousin, Celine, is a politician. They gave the crown to her, and while it looks fetching on her, I intend to take it back.
So you intend to out-negotiate your cousin?
It will take heroic effort on my part, Inquisitor, and a lot of brandy. The talks will take most of the evening. Make her willing, we will emerge triumphant.
I have a question about the peace talks. What are you hoping to achieve at the negotiations?
I intend to take back what is rightfully mine. Celine stole the crown through politicking, but I am the rightful emperor of Orlais. The Empire has been mired in intrigue for too long. We need a clear course of action.
What action did you have in mind?
The Empire is declining. We cannot allow Nevarra and Ferelden to chip away our borders. I will see Orlais return to glory as the strongest nation in Thedas.
You intend to return to expansionism?
I like to solve problems in the simplest manner, my friend.
You didn't extend this invitation out of the goodness of your heart, Grand Duke.
As you might have guessed, I'm not the most political man. If the nobles believe the Inquisition supports me, it will help in negotiations. And I take joy in watching the scandalized expressions when they see us together.
What can you tell me about Celine and Brialla?
Brianna may be called ambassador, but she is purely a spy. She works towards some hidden agenda. Elves have no place in politics. Her presence here is suspicious. Celine is a skilled player in the game. She knows how to get her way with a few words and a smile. But the game is a farce. I will prove that a few hundred chevaliers are better than diplomats.
What will be going on in these negotiations?
We will whittle one another down with words until we are bored into agreement. Celine will talk circles around us, that elf will glower and cast suspicion everywhere, and I will get very drunk. Somehow, by the time they stop serving drinks, our war will be ended. Politics, my friend.
What calamities befall us if they stop serving drinks early?
If we're lucky, another war will break out. I cannot abide the game, my friend. I prefer my enemies armed and facing me. I like clear winners and losers. Give me a battlefield, Inquisitor. I will show you who the victors are. When I am Emperor, there will be changes. No more of this courtier's nonsense. The nobles may not like it, but after a few lose their heads, they'll fall in line.
I discovered something you might be interested in. It's about Brialla. She's got people hidden among the servants all over the palace.
I suspected as much, but couldn't confirm it. She's a difficult adversary to predict. There's no telling what move she intends to make.
She's killed ambassadors and changed their documents.
You can prove this. Now that is interesting. What is she trying to accomplish? She bears closer watching than I thought.
She's got people hidden among the servants all over the palace.
I suspected as much, but she's a difficult adversary to predict. There's no telling what move she intends to make.
I discovered something you might be interested in. It's about you, in fact. Want to tell me why you are threatening the members of the Council of Heralds?
The language of politics, Inquisitor. If you cannot bribe politicians, you threaten them into backing down. Most of the Council are Celine's lapdogs. There was little chance I could win their support any other way.
We'll speak later, Duke Gaspard.
Another time, friend.
It's been too long since I've had any word from Valois.
Do you enjoy music, Commander?
Everyone enjoys music, madam.
Mistress Nightingale, what a pleasure to see you again. You look radiant.
Look at Lady Cambian's slippers, trimmed with pearls and emeralds, and those buckles. Toss her into the lake and she'll sink right to the bottom. What a disaster.
There's a Tevinter assassin on the loose, and you're concerned about buckles on shoes.
Everyone needs a hobby. Besides, you can learn a great deal about a person from their clothing. Gold and jewels on a dancing slipper. A slipper is easily lost and finds itself in the dust and dirt. She is unconcerned with the possibility of losing the shoe or soiling it. A vulgar display of wealth. But Lady Cambian's family has recently lost most of its holdings. They have their title, but little else. So, how did Cambian acquire such a grand shoe, What has she done? Who has she bedded? These are all useful questions, no?
More different here than in Skyhold. More approachable, perhaps?
This is Halam Shiral, Inquisitor. This is the Imperial Court. This is the beating heart of the Great Game. Of course, everyone is wearing a mask. I learned this very young. I was still a girl when I attended my first ball. All this, the smiles, the small talk, it is a dance. And like any dance, it can be learned. For some of us, it has become so familiar that the steps may be performed in our sleep.
Who do you think the Inquisition should support?
What we need most of all is a stable Orlais. Either Celine or Gaspard can give us that.
I found this out. I'm not sure of its value.
Very interesting. It may not help our investigation, but we can put it to use. A little more dirt like this, and we might have some leverage in the court. If you find more, let me know.
Have you seen anything interesting?
Oh yes. Halam Shiral is lousy with scandals and scheming. But no sign of our Tevinter infiltrator, I'm afraid.
I should go. Be on your guard.
I always am.
I still remember the day they came to tell me that my second husband, Philippe, was thrown from his horse. Lord Inquisitor.
Would you care to dance, Lady Mantillon?
You, Inquisitor, are a delight. One does not often find foreigners so well versed in the game. But you have other dances to perform first. Perhaps you will save me a dance for later?
I'd like your opinion of this gathering, my lady.
It's doomed to fail, of course. Celine knows that. At least it should be amusing. We haven't had such a menagerie at court in living memory.
Have you noticed anything odd this evening?
Too few Imperial guards stand in attendance, my dear. A shame. They are so pleasantly decorative.
Good evening, milady.
Has anyone seen Lucien? He was supposed to have the servers in the ballroom almost an hour ago.
I'm so glad Maman did not want to attend. She always ruins everything.
Not as much as you do.
Duke Gaspard has made a fortune at Alliance.
He's fortunate. I wonder if the Lord Inquisitor feels the same.
Inquisitor? I didn't expect the Inquisitor to be so well versed in the game.
He was sent by Andraste. Of course he'd play the game.
Doesn't look like negotiations are going well.
Inquisitor Trevelyan. Slumming even more than usual, I see. You've charmed some of the nobles. We'll see how long you can keep their favor. What brings you to me?
I want to know more about the peace talks. What can you tell me about Celine and Gaspard?
Gaspard is a warmonger. He served in the war against Ferelden and fought a dozen skirmishes on the Navarran border. He's a simple man. Simple men aren't hard to manipulate. Celine is the voice of reason in the Empire. But reason is cautious. Reason looks for compromise. Reason doesn't choose radical change, however sorely it may be needed.
I want to know more about the peace talks. I had a question about you, Briala.
I'm an elf, Inquisitor. That should tell you everything you need to know about my life. I'm good at what I do. And so that matters. I will help my people no matter the cost.
I've been told you were romantically involved with the Empress.
I didn't take you for a gossip monger, Inquisitor. I suppose your spies have already briefed you. so there's no point in pretending. Yes, Celine and I were lovers once, but we've gone our separate ways now.
What's your story? How was an elf invited to the Empress's ball as an ambassador?
Empress Celine and I have history. There was a time when I put my spies at her disposal. She knows my qualifications. We had a falling out. Now we are negotiating to determine whether I return to her side in the war.
What do you mean we had a falling out?
She betrayed me. Turned me over to the guards on a trumped-up charge to save her political reputation. It wasn't personal. It's the game. That's how all Orlesians justify these things to themselves. It wouldn't do to let the court know she had an elven friend.
If she doesn't win you back to her side, what do you intend to do?
I have contingency plans. I'm not a child putting all my hopes on a single ball. This evening gives me access to Duke Gaspard. He's challenging. Not as progressive or persuadable as his cousin, but with time and sufficient blackmail, he might work with us.
You just told me you have reason to betray the Empress.
I know it's incriminating. Few harbor more resentment against Celine than I. But if she died after inviting me here, the court would certainly pin her death on me. An elf assassinating the Empress? Alienages across Orlais, across all Thedas, would be purged. That cannot happen.
You might be interested in what I've found. It's about Gaspard. He's been threatening the nobles on the Council of Heralds.
Typical. Gaspard's always been a bully, regardless of the Chevalier Code.
You might be interested in what I've found. It's about you, actually. You murdered negotiators and stole their documents.
In Orlesian politics, Inquisitor, murder and intrigue barely count as crime. If that shocked you, wait until Celine shows her hand.
I found the drop point, Briala. I know your people are hidden all over the palace.
Of course they are. I'd be a poor spy master if I didn't have spies, Inquisitor.
We'll speak more later, Ambassador.
Another time, Inquisitor.
Doesn't look like negotiations are going well.
Inquisitor, to what do we owe this honor?
We are always delighted to speak with you, of course. Her Imperial Majesty is unfortunately occupied at present.
If the evening ends favorably for the Empress, how does the Inquisition benefit?
Her Imperial Majesty brings the might of the Orlesian Empire with her friendship.
She is also a respected diplomat and world leader. She can forge alliances for you with Rivain, Antiva, the Underfells.
And she throws the best parties.
Perhaps you could tell me something then. We haven't been properly introduced.
How rude of us to forget.
My Lord Inquisitor, allow me to present Lady Couteau.
And Lady Colombe.
And of course, Lady Fleur. We are the Empress's ladies-in-waiting.
I'd like to know more about Empress Celine.
Her Majesty has held the throne since she was just 16 years old.
She is respected and beloved, not just in Orlais, but across Thedas.
She doesn't care much for liver, and she drinks her tea black.
I'd like to know more about the negotiations. It seems strange to hold peace talks during a ball.
The nobility must do things very differently in Ostwood.
By Orlesian tradition, moments of great solemnity are celebrated with revels and feasts.
While joyous occasions are given time for reflection and contemplation.
We must never forget that life is both bitter and sweet.
The ball is an opportunity to celebrate life and hope for the future, while we mourn those killed in the war.
What can you tell me about the other parties involved in the talks?
Gaspard is a decorated general, much beloved by the Imperial army, and a legend among chevaliers.
He is better suited to the battlefield than the throne, and he would gladly make his palace a war camp.
He's also fiendishly charming.
Lady Briella has great intentions to change the lives of the elves for the better.
Even if her plans could never work and would only provoke hate crimes against alienages.
She is an idealist, but her lack of patience could prove disastrous.
What is the Empress trying to accomplish with the negotiations?
Peace is her only objective, Inquisitor.
Gaspard and Briella are driven by personal ambitions, but those desires threaten the safety of all Orlesians.
The war must end tonight. We must conclude this to deal with the larger crisis.
My investigations turned up something interesting. It concerns the Grand Duke. He's made a lot of threats to the Council of Heralds.
The Grand Duke is all talk, Inquisitor.
Very loud talk, accompanied by swords.
He has never had any skill at the game.
My investigations turned up something interesting. It concerns Ambassador Briella. She killed ambassadors from both Celine and Gaspard and forged documents to both sides.
How despicable!
After the Empress extended her hospitality?
She's better at the game than we thought.
Her people have infiltrated every part of the Winter Palace.
This is extremely alarming, Inquisitor.
She could be spying on our every word.
How exciting!
Good evening.
Until next time, Inquisitor.
Do take care.
Enjoy the masquerade!
Doesn't look like the negotiations are
I
going
would
well.
love to hear about your time in Kerr. Another time.
My third husband, Pierre, lost his life to Rosalia. I swore off marriage forever.
I didn't expect the Inquisitor to be so well versed in the game.
Where are Alban and Colette?
Who cares? Is that Marquis?
This could be worth checking out.
Someone will be held accountable for this.
Must be the elves Briala's people are looking for.
We should look around.
This was no servant. What was he doing here?
This man was a council of Herald's emissary. Curious to find him here.
Is that the Chalon family crest? What have you been up to, Gaspard?
Time to have a word with the Duke.
No! No!
Venatori agent! That must be the Venatori leader.
fancy meeting you here. Shouldn't you be dancing, Inquisitor? What will the nobility say?
No doubt there's a line of people breathlessly waiting for dances with me.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was. You cleaned this place out. Will take a month to get all the Tevinter blood off the marble. I came down to save or avenge my missing people. But you've beaten me to it. So, the Council of Herald's emissary in the courtyard. That's not your work, is it?
He was dead when I arrived.
I expected as much. You may have arrived with the Grand Duke, but you don't seem to be doing his dirty work. I knew he was smuggling his chevaliers. But killing a council emissary? Bringing Tevinter assassins into the palace? Those are desperate acts. Gaspard must be planning to strike tonight.
Are you sure he's behind this? He was too easygoing for a man plotting treason.
Don't let his charm blind you. He's Orlesian. That smile is his mask. I misjudged you, Inquisitor. You might just be an ally worth having. What could you do with an army of elven spies at your disposal? You should think about it.
You know how to make a sales pitch, Ambassador, I'll give you that.
I do, don't I? I know which way the wind is blowing. I'd bet coin that you'll be part of the peace talks before the night is over. And if you happen to lean a little bit our way, it could prove advantageous to us both. Just a thought.
More politics and double-dealing. Is there anyone here who is not corrupt?
There's so much conniving and backstabbing here. Makes me homesick.
We are in your debt, Inquisitor.
Head back to the ballroom. We'll handle this.